What up, y'all? Welcome back to I'm Just Saying Sports. Today, we got to talk about them Warriors, man. And we got to ask the question, is the dynasty over? But before we get into it, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Tell your people to holler at me because I'm out here. All right? So, Kendrick Perkins, the man of the hour, has been screaming from the rooftops for a long time for anybody that will listen that the Warriors dynasty is in fact over. Now, last night he got on NBA Countdown before the Warriors took on the Pelicans and got their ass blown out, which they say is the biggest blowout loss in the Steve Kerr, Steph Curry era. Pelicans just gave it to him. And Kendrick Perkins was on Countdown prior to the game saying that the dynasty was over. Let's take a listen to what he said.
You know what's crazy is that we all just can't get over the fact that the Warriors are done. That's the problem. They were horrible before Draymond got suspended, and damn it, they're going to be horrible once he get back. So let's not act like him coming back is going to be, the Warriors are going to be back to being relevant. They're going to be a title contender again, because that's not the case. The thing that Draymond needs to do is he needs to sacrifice. Because again, I'm going to keep harping on, right now the Warriors still need to be building for the future.
You heard what the man had to say. Question is, again, is the Warriors dynasty over, and do I agree with Kendrick Perkins? Hell yeah, to both. I wholeheartedly agree with him because you have to do a little bit of a deep dive. Not too deep, but just a little deep. This all started with the Jordan Poole punch. Didn't start with KD, didn't start with none of that. It started with the Jordan Poole punch. Draymond is always intimidated by anybody who he feels is going to disrupt the chemistry between Steve Kerr, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson. Those are it. If you feel like you're going to come in and interrupt that or get into the club, you got another thing coming. So the Warriors tried to put together a plan, and it was kind of obvious what they were trying to do. They were trying to bring in some young guys who they can transition to once Draymond, Steph, and Klay got a little too old, got a little long in the tooth, weren't the same players. They can kind of just show them the ropes and then transition seamlessly. And then once Dre, Steph, and Klay got too old, they can just, let them go. And then the younger guys, Kuminga, Poole, etc., they'll just pick up where they left off. That punch changed the whole plan. It ruined it effectively. Once he punched Jordan Poole, the locker room and the team was divided. You had the OGs, Steph, Klay, Draymond, Iggy, Steve Kerr over here, and you had the rest of the team over here. Now, that might not be the case, but that's how it appeared to me. That's what I believe would happen. So, once you have that, you don't have chemistry, which is why they got the result that they got that year, and they didn't repeat. They didn't even get to the finals. So after that, during the summer, you had to make a decision. You're going to either stick with Poole because you just gave him the contract. You're going to stick with Poole, mentor him, coach him, kind of reel him in a little bit because he needed to be, and then you're going to ride that wave of the future. Because we saw Klay not be Klay. We know Draymond is deteriorating, and Iggy had already decided he was going to retire. So you needed somebody to help carry you into the future. That would have been Jordan Poole. If you choose Jordan Poole, that's the path you take. If you choose Draymond, you're stuck with what remains of Draymond, Steph, and Klay. You're stuck with what they have left in the tank. They chose to stick with Draymond and ride it out. This is what you get from that. This is why I believe their dynasty is over, because again, Klay is a shell of himself. Steve Kerr had to talk to him and tell him, hey man, you need to embrace the fact that you're at the back nine of your career. Somehow, for some way, that sparked Klay to start playing a little bit better, but he's still a shell of himself. Draymond Green can't stay on the floor. He's been suspended multiple times already this season, and we ain't even halfway done. So when he comes back, what they think is going to happen? They are below 500. They're a few games below 500. Who do you think they're going to beat in the West? Because Kendrick also said something that I agree with, that people don't take into consideration. The Golden State Warriors don't compete for playoff spots. They don't compete to get to the playoffs. They compete to win championships. And there's no iteration of this particular group that's going to get them to a championship. Now, championships teams, they tweak rosters and things like that. But there's not enough tweaking that the Warriors can do to get them on the championship level. And Shams, the great Shams, reported earlier today that everybody is on the table for the Golden State Warriors except Steph Curry. You know who does that? Teams that's ready to rebuild. Not teams that's chasing championships, teams that's ready to rebuild. Ask LeBron how that worked out when they did a complete overhaul of the Cavs that one year. When they brought in Dwayne Wade, Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, and all those guys. Ask LeBron how that worked out for him. Didn't work out at all, because that's not a recipe for success. I'm sorry, y'all, but the Warriors is over for them. It's over for them. I think Steph in the next year or two will go to management and say, hey, man, I need to ride out the rest of my years that I have left playing on a team that can compete, because the Warriors will not be in a position to compete. There is nobody that wants Clay. And then that's not even mentioning the fact that there's no extension on the table from the Warriors to Klay Thompson right now. They don't have a deal or an offer on the table for Clay. That tells you they're done with him. I mean, like, let's be real. That tells you they're done. And they're going to move on from him regardless. If he wasn't going to take that 2-year, $24 million contract, they're going to move on from him. So, yes, I do believe the dynasty is over. It was a great run, hell of a run. But everything comes to an end. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think the Warriors dynasty is over? Do you think that they could make some adjustments and come back this season or next season and compete for a title? Let me know. Hit me up in the comments. Again, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and tell your people to holler at me, because I'm out here. Peace.